All right. Hey, here we
what's
are.
up?
Let's cheers to drinking coffee.
Not old fashions or beers
yeah.
this time because
It's
it's morning.
Yeah, a little early in the morning. Well, welcome to the Old Fashioned Hollywood Podcast, the 2021 edition.
You say that and like it sounds music. There's like a rhythm to it.
Yeah.
It's like a music to it. Old Fashioned Hollywood Podcast.
Yeah.
What's going on, guys? We haven't done this in a long time.
It's been too long. I've been hounding you, and here we are.
Kind of, but it's more like this. It's more like Scott and I don't. Well, more so during the pandemic. We don't see each other for long periods of time, and then we'll be like, hey, what are you up to? And like if the other one's busy, we don't hang out. But you'll eventually go podcast ? With text or Facebook, and I'm like, yeah, sure, that's cool. Basically means this is us hanging out.
Right. Yeah, we always like start a conversation. They're like, let's save it for the podcast.
Yeah, nothing. They're the most interesting conversations we have are the ones while we're eating or having a drink before we record.
Yeah.
And we're like, fuck, that would have been good. Let me just rev my motorcycle real quick.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. It's still good.
Good. So yeah, here we are on Hollywood Boulevard. It's 2021. We survived 2020.
Did we?
I mean,
we survived.
We survived. Yeah. And I think for a lot of people it was a tough and crazy year. So maybe we just do like a recap of like the goods and the bads, the high points and low points for us in 2020.
The good will be a short list. The bad and low points will be a long list.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Let's go reverse a little bit. So I would say the positive. God, I don't know.
Make it a sandwich.
There are some pop culture. Yeah, totally. I do think there are positives. Listen, this is going to sound silly, but I watched The Mandalorian after being pestered for a year or two forever by you and by everyone else. And that ended on a note. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Like, listen, I know Star Wars, but I'm not a Star Wars psycho. Sorry, no offense to Scott or anybody else. Like, I'm not obsessed with it, but I do love it. And we could spoil it now. Seeing Luke Skywalker come back.
Wait, what? Luke Skywalker came back?
Shut up. The way he came back, and I was lucky enough that I hadn't seen the series yet. Scott had shown me the first episode, and I watched just fan reaction videos first of Luke Skywalker coming back, and people. And I'm talking about a preacher or a priest watching it who's 65 years old, and then kids watching it, and then middle-aged people watching it, Star Wars nuts watching it, casual fans watching it, and people are crying and like Twitter's exploding and saying, I mean, this is pop culture shit. This doesn't, obviously the bad things that happened in 2020 are real, right. And it's economic devastation and viruses and stuff, but like that feeling I got of being a kid and seeing so many people so happy and giddy about something that's not even real. That was it's not like a big, major, noteworthy thing in the grand scheme, but it happened right at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And I thought it was cool. It was the first time I'd seen people look that happy unanimously in 2020.
Yeah.
For any reason. And non-Star Wars dorks are like, oh, you nerds and stuff. But I was like, no, you don't understand. Like,
yeah.
People needed that, dude. People were crying on Twitter. Like, they needed some kind of fuck yeah thing. And I thought that was awesome. Again, I know how silly this sounds when compared to the seriousness of things going on, but
yeah,
man, any kind of hope that art can bring right now, it needs to. Like, enough with the cynicism, man. Enough with the dark content. It has its place. I love it.
Yeah,
I love dark content, but fucking Luke Skywalker being a deadbeat loser a couple years ago, that's taken the wind out of our sails, and we're used to this shit now.
Yeah.
That kind of giddy, optimistic take, I think, was very fresh, very refreshing.
Yeah, I think for people who had seen the sequel movies and things like that, who were just like, fucking Disney doesn't get what Star Wars is and all this kind of stuff, and like seeing, like, I thought the show as a whole was brilliant, and it's not I got into a conversation with somebody on Facebook who was like, well, it's not Breaking Bad, and I was like, but it's not Breaking Bad.
If it was Breaking Bad, it wouldn't work. That wouldn't be Star Wars.
Yeah, it's a Mandalorian. It's a Western in space, and it has that Western feel, and the callbacks to the old Kurosawa samurai films and things like that. It's I mean, Star Wars has always been you go back and you look at A New Hope, and it's the hero's journey, right? It's these big picture stories that deal with big picture ideas, and maybe they're not as complex in the minutia as something like Breaking Bad, but it's a different story for different audience.
You can't do that. It's a fairy tale.
Exactly.
You can't do the. It doesn't mean that it lacks the intelligence of a Breaking Bad. It's not the right time to be that nuanced in some way. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not the right form.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. It's a different form of art in that sense of like.
And I don't think either one of us is defending making it stupid. I don't think that. To be clear, we're not saying blockbusters all need to be moronic, because I hate that. But yeah, just knowing what you're working with.
Well, and I think there is. I think it's an important distinction too, like between being something that's intelligent but simple in a sense, where the intelligence is the issues that they do tackle and the emotions are real and genuine, and there's moments where you feel like connection to characters, like the thought that you can watch an entire show of a guy behind a mask and you don't see his face for the entire show, yet you still have an emotional connection to him. Yeah. Versus watching something like Marvel, where there's 6 guys on the screen with faces doing all sorts of stuff, and I don't feel a connection to a single one of those characters.
I don't either. Some people do connect to the Avengers.
I'm just saying me personally.
You know what? Here, I guess I kind of failed to articulate what I was trying to, but I think we both agree is I felt like the last year or 2 or 4 or 10. But I would say the last 4 years especially, and I'm not pinning it just on the Trump thing. It goes beyond that, to be real. We have all lost heroes. Yeah. We've all lost people we looked up to. I've stopped looking. God, I feel so guilty, but it's the truth. People who taught me to be a certain kind of man and taught me right from wrong and told me this is the good path, this is the bad path. A lot of them went down the bad path as we got older, or they support people who openly go down the bad path. Yeah, and then to have our pop culture, our fictional works start doing that same shit was it kind of. I mean, it's bad enough to see real life people at 60 who you looked up to as a beacon of what a man should be become bullies and become cruel, or at least reveal a side of themselves that you never saw. Yeah. It's even worse when goddamn Superman and Luke Skywalker start doing it too. Right. And it's like, god damn, dude. That's the millennial challenge has been like, fuck our hero. You know, you find out John Wayne's a closet KKK member. You know what I mean? That's I'm joking there. I think there are some links to him with some serious racists, but that's more of a metaphor. Right. But to see some heroes returned, even if they're not real, to see some of that hope put back in. Right. Was just like, thank God, man. It connected me to being a kid again. Yeah. It was like, there's hope. It is Atticus Finch, Superman, Luke Skywalker. Yeah. These are symbols that are supposed to mean something to us. Right. And we've been robbed of them for a while. Yeah. So, how about the dad of 2020? Let's be real. Yeah. I lost, I have so many coworkers who are homesick right now. My uncle passed away, not COVID related, surprisingly. Yeah. My sister-in-law, who I love to death, lost her grandpa to it. Grandma's in the hospital sick, but survived. Grandpa didn't make it. My coworker, my good buddy, his dad just died from it last Sunday or so. And deaths are rare for the record, but that's how common the virus is now. Right, Right.
Everybody knows somebody, at least knows somebody who knows somebody. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel surrounded. My boss said it the other day. He goes, "We sat in the office. It's raining outside. It's on a gloomy ass Monday or Tuesday. Nobody's in there." I go, "Where the fuck is everybody?" Yeah. Well, a lot of them are home with COVID or taking care of somebody with COVID, or like we used to have 13 route drivers out there driving around taking care of things. We're down to 5. Wow. Like from layoffs and quitting and illness and everything, it's like, he's like, I think we're surrounded by this thing. I was like, we are. It feels like it's just creeping on you, Yeah, it's like, give me the antidote, give me the vaccine, man.
Yeah. I mean, as far as its more overreaching, impacts, obviously, film production and every, like, Hollywood shut down for most of the year. There's restaurants everywhere that are closed, there's half of them never opening back up again, just gone. Like saw that the 101 Cafe over here,
no way,
gone. It's I mean,
that's like a staple.
Yeah, I assume that when things open back up, that some other business will come in to the space.
They will, of course. Yeah.
That's but
works,
but the people who have owned it.
Oh
and
my
the
God, that's a classic spot too.
Right. And that's all over the place.
Roro's Chicken right here on Sunset, which I actually love it. But Chris Osborne, if you're listening, showed it to me years ago. I talked to the owner for a while. I was just ordering. It's not a customer or anything. 26 years he's been there, him and his wife. He's like, for the last 6 months we've been working for free. We laid off all of our staff except 1 or 2.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm just riding at perfect break even.
Right.
He's like, my friend, I can't do this forever. I might have to shut down for good. And I'm like, I didn't. Yeah. I grabbed some stuff. I had some free stuff in my car from work. I walked in. I was like, these are yours, but that's not real. That's not gonna. Here's $50 in help, but I was like, I'm so sorry, man. Like it's everywhere. It's brutal.
Yeah, it's and it's not just LA. Obviously, it's everywhere in the country, and probably other parts of the world as well are experiencing this sort of economic crunch as it is, and I've been super fortunate since like early October, been getting gigs doing camera work. A lot of it's sort of COVID related stuff in the sense of we're like recording things that normally would be live events, like shooting a concert for this performer that I'm signed an NDA for, but she's supposed to be on tour right now, and so since she's not on tour, we just filmed her show with just her and her backup dancers and that sort of thing, and it's just sort of this like half staged show, but also kind of feels like a concert sort of thing. And so there's
like I think us as an audience, we're all forced to kind of get used to watching things like that.
Yeah, like the watch the Post Malone New Year's Eve show, and it's just like him and his band on this little platform in the middle of a warehouse, and you're used to seeing Times Square, used to seeing big groups of people coming, and now we're sort of getting used to seeing like quote unquote live shows that are just
it's an adjustment though,
streamed,
isn't it?
and not getting out of the house for that kind of stuff.
I never really fully appreciated the energy or the ambiance or whatever you want to call it that a live crowd adds to something. Have you seen what I don't actually watch pro wrestling anymore, but have you seen what they're doing now?
I haven't seen pro wrestling. I've watched like MMA, UFC, and stuff like that.
What's the audience? Are there people there?
No, it's completely empty. It's they've got like the coaches and the announcers.
Dude, so wrestling, the seats are filled with monitors, and each monitor is the face of a person who paid a ticket to be in the crowd, so to speak. It's so bizarre looking. It looks really cool, like from a futuristic movie. Right. And because the wrestlers kind of it's they need to feed off the crowd. Like they hear. Right. They're controlling kind of like music. Or a roller coaster. They're controlling it based on the reaction, so you can still hear that. Like it was empty, and then they put them in just to kind of give it that that ambiance and give them something to play off of, so they know what to do next. But it's very bizarro. Like even when you're watching it, I'm not watching. I don't actually watch. Like I said, if I see a clip on YouTube, I'm not watching what's in the ring. I'm staring at the audience, going, "Fuck, man, that's weird." There's some dude on. There's some girl there. When they cheer, like it all cheers. They're all booing. It's a bunch of monitors. It's so strange. It's just. This is our world now, man.
I caught a bit of a football game on Christmas or whenever, and they had audio going in the stadium, like audio of the crowd cheering and the crowd chanting "defense, defense." It was just pre-recorded.
Oh wow, it's pre-recorded. It's almost like tacky. It's not
it's
cool.
Weird. Yeah, I guess they had to.
It's bizarre.
They had to institute certain rules as far as like the level of audio that you could tune it, because it's not fair to the visiting team if you just like
you turn it up,
crank it up to like a million when they're
the air horns.
But yeah, it's and I know like like baseball, they had like cardboard cutouts or something of people in the stands and stuff like that.
It's just not the same. I mean, obviously, it's not the same. You know?
Yeah.
What do you miss? So what do you miss about what do you? Okay, so what are you looking forward to going forward? There's way more we can talk about devastation from 2020. Let's be real.
Do we want to talk about anything else about 2021? We're ready to move on.
How about the current? Let's just get the politics shit out of the way right now.
I mean,
What we're looking at right now, guys, is
it's going to be like I'm hopeful that that the Supreme Court's going to overturn this fraudulent election. And
you scared the shit out of me. I was like, what are you talking about? Actually, I was scared you were saying I'm hopeful we'll be able to stop Trump, and I was like, we should be 100% confident he's got nothing.
Well, that's
nothing.
Well, that's. I mean, should that be the case? But unfortunately, there is still that small chance that he's going to like hunker down, and he's going to have, he's going to have 4 Secret Service guys that have also drank the Kool-Aid that are like,
I heard that too.
To the death, and we're going to.
I heard they're shuffling out his Secret Service right now. Yeah, they keep rotating it. Yeah, in case there's anybody who's just fiercely loyal to Trump that's going to be in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just read that they're doing that. They got to keep, because you don't know, man. They're going to be a little civil war.
Yeah. Because it only takes like 2 of them to have like to hunker down the Oval Office with automatic weapons. And
my God, how did we get to this point?
I doubt he's going to be that dumb to do that. To say I'm just going to stay in and they can't kick me out. But I mean.
No, at this point, nobody wins if he does that.
I mean, at this point, has he done? How many things has he done that people say, "Oh, I can't believe he did that"?
So as a recap, in case you're living under a rock, the president is, and you know what? No offense, but sort of offense. If you honestly are still of the belief that the election was rigged against President Trump, I am very confident that you have an extremely small and select group of information sources you trust.
Yeah.
And that you are not putting in any kind of honest work toward, in science, when you have let's say a theory, the way you test it isn't by yelling at everybody.
Right.
And you don't test it by accusing people who say it's not true of all teaming up against you.
Right.
You set to work on finding ways to attack your own theory, your own idea.
Well, I think,
and if you can find evidence against it, you go, oh, it doesn't hold.
Yeah.
And if you refuse to do that, which these people do.
Yeah, I think the thing is, there have been about like 50 court cases where Trump and his allies and everybody they had an opportunity to present evidence. If evidence existed, why would they not present that evidence in court?
Right.
And if they actually had evidence that they were able to present in court, why would judges who were, many of them, appointed by Trump, why would they not hear that evidence and move forward?
They go, the courts don't, somebody on my Facebook, the courts just don't want to touch this. It's like, what's this?
Yeah.
There's no this. He's not even presenting anything.
Right.
The courts don't want to touch this. He didn't drop a tall stack of, a giant stack of evidence, and they went, no.
Yeah.
He didn't have any.
Yeah.
And in many cases, Giuliani admitted we don't have enough for this case to continue. They don't have the evidence.
Right.
There's no stack to investigate. The machines have been checked. The fucking numbers have been recounted. This is really.
They actually
really tough right now
the
for
people,
reasonable people.
The Smartmatic and the Dominion company, the
Smartmatic, that's the one I was thinking of this morning.
I
saw
the voting companies. They actually threatened Fox and
Lou
Newsmax and Lou Dobbs, all with like lawsuits for like defamation and all this kind of stuff. And Fox and Newsmax had to come out and like pretty much give retractions.
They did.
And say we're sorry. We never meant to imply that there was any impropriety going on.
So please, I hope if you believe this shit, you're listening right now. I know Fox, or some of them might be telling you it's true, but watch all of Fox, and I'm telling you Fox is meekly admitting it's not out the other side of its mouth.
Yeah.
My God, please fucking stop believing this shit. Call their bluff, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying, is they got no hand. Mm-hmm. And they are master bluffers, and they've got half the fucking. They don't have half the country. 70 million.
But,
I think it's a lot of people.
Biden's a pedo, so. But it's,
yeah.
But it's and that's and that to me has been the hardest part of this whole thing is we talked about it before, and I was a big Bernie supporter, and I still love Bernie, and I still love what he stands for, and that's where my heart is. Mm-hmm. It was not. it was not enjoyable for me to like defend Biden.
I know.
Because Biden doesn't have a great record, and I don't think that Biden is the right man for the job. And I think that
Who does?
And I think that bar, well, he's better than Trump, is such a low fucking bar.
Yeah, but okay, I hear you.
And I'll just say that to me the thing is, because I support Bernie and I support what Bernie stands for, and it was never about Bernie the man. It was always about Bernie what he stood for.
I agree with you. I know. You didn't have like an idol that you'd follow, right or wrong.
Right.
If he turned around, he raped 6 people.
Right.
You would part ways.
Yeah.
We're dealing with people who will not.
Yeah. And to me, obviously, what it comes down to is, within a Biden administration, Bernie and people who share Bernie's ideology for what is the government have a voice and have an impact and have an opportunity to get legislation passed and get things to go in their direction.
Right.
And as bad as Biden the man is, at least the Democratic Party, to me, is corrupt and has a million things wrong with it that I don't agree with, but in the very least, they admit that global climate change is real.
I know.
And that to me, like you can't, like, it's a non-starter with me to have a conversation with somebody in the Republican Party that says that global climate change is a hoax perpetuated by China, or it's not real and it's going to destroy jobs, or whatever. Like
scapegoating, conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Bragging. Everything you're taught is not what it. This is why I say we need heroes, because we're talking about defending Biden, who's not great, to stop from getting a guy who literally would start a civil war in the name of his own popularity and brand. You know what I mean? Like, I do look around and go, where the fuck are the people I thought we were? All the time. Like, Bernie does give you a hint of that. I think, too, when I think of the Obamas and the Hillarys and even the John McCains and the people who don't have perfect records, but to me, I don't think they're evil in their hearts. I just think they're politicians.
Yeah.
I think that those folks are generally, those kinds of politicians are shaped, their views and their approach and who they are and what they become are largely shaped by what is demanded of them by the people.
Right.
If Biden needs to become a leftist, quote unquote, he will become a leftist.
Right.
I believe he's shaped. I don't think if you went, hey, all your followers are hardcore conservatives, like the next morning he'd go, oh, build the wall. I don't think they're that. They're still human beings, but I do think they're shapeable, moldable. Right. They're not perfect. I don't trust them as heroes.
Yeah.
But we are able to pull them, to nudge them in different directions. Yeah. Trump, he said himself, I could walk down Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody, I wouldn't lose a supporter. Yeah. That is not, yes, anything but Trump is a low bar, but guys, anything but Trump is where we're at right now. I'm sorry. It's that bad.
Yeah.
And it's embarrassing to me that it's that bad. I don't want it to be that answer.
Right.
It sucks. Yeah. He can't become normal. We cannot normalize it.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is so many of the people in the GOP have gone along with what he's doing and have enabled him.
What do you think their plan is right now? Because he's a dying thing.
There's obviously two camps in there. There's the camp that says, okay, we're gonna live by Trump, die by Trump, and even if Trump is out of office, we're gonna just pick up that mantle of what Trump stood for. Right. And there's going to be somebody within that camp who says, well, maybe I'm next in line to be the next Trump.
I think so. Think that's what I think is it.
And that's the fear.
Right.
It is actually, people like Jimmy Dore and Cenk Uygur, I've heard both talk about this kind of stuff, is that
Cenk from Young Turks?
Yeah.
Is not a huge fan of his, but I don't hate him. I just think he's too.
He's
Jimmy Dore. I'll take
opinionated.
Over.
Right.
He's a team. I just don't think he's honest.
Anyway,
he's a fellow lefty. I just don't trust him to play ball straight sometimes.
What their commentary on this sort of thing is that in a way, like, we got lucky with Trump in the sense that it's inevitable we were going to get this sort of like right-wing demagogue that was going to play into the conspiracy theory, like all this stuff that's been happening within the right-wing conspiracy theory, like Alex Jones and all that stuff. That's
even that lady saying Obama's from Kenya, and McCain going, no, he's not.
Right.
Trump supporters were there before Trump. This shit has been brewing.
All that stuff, and that it was inevitable that somebody like Trump was going to get elected in the Republican Party, and we got lucky that Trump is such an incompetent moron that he wasn't actually able to capitalize on it.
That's what's scary, man, is somebody could.
And that's the scary part, is that next time, the next person that picks up that mantle...
Somebody who doesn't act like an idiot on Twitter, but who can manipulate this to his own end.
Flawlessly. Somebody who actually doesn't believe it.
Like, I know.
Because that's,
of course they would.
That's
to
the
be intelligent would be to not believe it.
Right. That's the problem.
If you got somebody with Obama's intelligence manipulating the Trump thing, it would be fucking horrifying.
Yeah. Somebody who has the charisma and has the ability to like Trump is the sort of carnival barker kind of guy, right? He's got that kind of charisma
that's what it is.
That like people ignore everything he says and everything he's ever done.
He goes for the cheer.
In the moment.
He's just going for a cheer in that moment, in that room.
Yeah.
Even if it completely contradicts what he said in another room down the street. In that room, my goal is make this room cheer for me. He'll say crazy, dumb, wicked shit.
Right.
And whatever, he just goes to the room. I have to be the most popular guy in this room, and it's like you create fucking. It seems nice, but it's chaotic.
And Trump embodies like everything that the right wing has been demonizing for the past 30 years.
That's why I say we need fucking heroes again.
Right.
Because they fucking sold us out, man.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but like, he's an elite who was born into money. He's from the big city. He is Hollywood. He's been on TV. He's totally
Hollywood's pedophiles. I like Trump. The fuck are you talking about?
Right, yeah,
he's fucking Hollywood.
Yeah. He talks about having sex with his underage daughter when she was a kid. He's had multiple wives. He's not faithful to anybody. He's like the used car salesman sort of thing. But somehow,
nobody's perfect, Scott. Fucking 8 years ago, whatever happened to decency? Obama's holding coffee while he salutes. Now, we didn't want a preacher. We wanted a businessman. You fucking sellouts.
Right.
You fucking cowards.
It's all sort of like ad hoc or post hoc excuses. It's like, I want to believe that whoever is my right wing guy, like I'm going to rationalize everything about them because they're my right wing guy or whatever. But So that was a good thing that happened, I guess, was the
how many days away right now? We're 3 days away from the
from the official where the Vice President Pence is going to preside over. It's all superficial at this point. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It's all pageantry.
Hey guys, Biden's the president.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah, it's the thing that happens in the Senate is like opening the envelopes or whatever, but it's just the
putting on the show.
Yeah, it's like at the Oscars where they open up the envelope that says who won. Mm-hmm. Like the person who's already won, it's already been decided. Even if the Oscar show doesn't happen, the person who won has already been decided, and that's not going to change whether or not Natalie Portman opens the envelope on stage or not. That's where we're at. It's like Mike Pence is Natalie Portman opening up the envelope on stage. Like he can't just say, I'm not going to open up the envelope, and that means
they already shot that down. Like was the Supreme Court? I can't remember who it was. They're just like, this is not a case. They literally it went nowhere. This is insane.
Even behind the scenes, Mike Pence has told people that he's not going along with any such plans.
Yeah, because it's going to fucking ruin him too. I was thinking, what a weird position he's in right now.
Oh yeah,
because he's not as dumb as Trump.
Right.
And he knows, like, guys, we can't just fucking hijack this thing. Like,
well, he's the guy who is like, he's the real right wing.
He's the true right winger.
He's the guy who's been against. I'm sure they're both against gay marriage, but he's the
I don't think Trump is actually
the long. I just don't think Trump cares.
No, I don't think he cares either way.
Yeah, he doesn't care either way.
He's what he needs to be.
Yeah. But he's the guy, the real ideologue, the real political ideologue behind the scenes.
100%.
He's part of the machine and all that kind of stuff.
But he knows you can't fuck the machine over.
Right.
You can't directly fuck the machine over. It's game over for him too.
Right.
Like,
well, because you get to a point where you're like, okay, well, are we gonna continue this playing by the rules, or are we actually going to have like a military coup where we stop all this election stuff and we say none of that matters and we're just going to take office by force?
What it's such a reminder. We can get off the Trump thing in a second too, but it's such a reminder of, and I've talked about this before, I think even on the podcast, where Obama, when at first Republicans did not want Trump, the GOP did not want Trump.
Right.
He was breaking everything, and you could be like, oh yeah, the system had to go. It's like, no, there was no tact, there was no morality, there was no respect. He was commenting on how fat or unattractive the women debating against him were in the middle of the debate. People were cheering because we're pieces of shit.
Yeah.
But I remember Obama saying, you guys let the conservative, you let these people believe all kinds of conspiracies. You let this shit build and build and build, and now it's created a monster that's out of your control.
Yeah.
And now you're like, what's going on here? And he goes, no, you don't get to rush over to our side and go, that guy's crazy. You knew this wasn't true. All these things they were saying. Yeah. Obama's from Kenya. They're coming for the guns. Yeah. He's a Muslim. He's an atheist. You let it. You tried to monopolize it. You tried to use it to your advantage. It got too big. Now you've got Trump. And then eventually what they all do? Switched over to Trump. Went to a new level of crazy.
Right.
Here we are again. Now you played along with Trump. Pretended he knows what he's talking about. Backed him. Now he's fucking about to attack the country.
Yeah.
Here we are again.
Yeah.
Do you go, okay, this is nuts, or do you go another level of fucking crazy? You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, you soulless motherfuckers. Like, I know you don't like the idea of Democrats and liberals being right, and I get that a lot of them are smug and obnoxious and need punched in the face sometimes. They do. I mean, as one, some of them do. I had a whole thing happen to me the other day that had me so pissed off, by the way, about being a white dude. But anyway, that said, you still lack the character to go, fuck, I'm wrong. Yeah. Guys, this is too far.
Yeah.
And to me, then you have no soul if you'll keep letting it go. You know, the world be damned. I will not admit I'm wrong.
But Larry, Benghazi.
Yeah. God damn it. Yeah, that's true. Never mind. Trump 2021, guys.
Yeah.
Anyway, going forward, what are we looking at here?
Going forward.
Positive things. So what do you think?
Positive about 2020 or about
about 2021?
About 2021. I mean, I feel like you can only get positive. Like I feel like we've hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
As far as that goes, you know, there's the light at the end of the tunnel with the vaccines. I mean, I think realistically, we're looking at like May or June for most people getting access to that. Like
some friends are telling me they're getting it like next week. How's it being determined? I don't know.
I mean, well, I'm seeing people who like work in healthcare, or so if you're, I think you can. It's definitely like a tier system.
Oh,
it's like
it's like work in healthcare.
Yeah,
that's probably
it's like people who work in healthcare, or people who have underlying conditions, or people who work with people with underlying conditions, or people who are at risk and or high risk or whatever. Those are the people that are getting it first. I was like looking at that list, and I'm like, and my category's not even listed here. So
yours is just people.
Yeah, everybody else.
People who.
Yeah.
I think at the very bottom it says Scott.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Bernie supporters.
Yeah, Scott Pig.
Which is that whole insulting thing of like you see the people like Lindsey Graham who have been enabling Trump and enabling the COVID is a hoax perpetrated by China to steal the election, and those people are getting the fucking vaccine.
Of course, yeah. I mean, yeah.
And then you're just like,
China didn't do this on purpose, man. Did you read about China? Like, a guy within China said, hey, we've got a problem here.
Yeah.
There was fighting within China about the virus.
Right.
Okay? China against China. It wasn't China together going, we'll let the American, Like, there was no conversation about Americans or other countries.
Yeah.
China people caught it. China people told them to shut the fuck up, and they were wrong. They weren't wrong. They were right. It exploded. The people who said otherwise apologized. It got out. It got out of control.
Yeah.
God, you don't need a conspiracy theory because that's already juicy enough.
Right.
That's already fucking weird enough. You don't need it. It doesn't get more exciting. To go, oh no, there was a lab and a government. It's like, shut up. Like, God.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm so frustrated with human beings right now. Like, just.
Well, I've seen the memes and the tweets and the quotes, people saying stuff like,
It's all memes.
Now, I'm never gonna believe a zombie movie unless there's a contingent of people who don't believe the zombies are real, and they
agree with that,
and they run towards the zombies and end up
that part I don't agree with, but I do agree with. Obviously, they're joking with that part. I do believe I think we might have talked about this before. All of these like outbreak movies and virus movies and zombie movies, there does have, because we are in a politically paranoid time. There has to be a giant group of people who are like, nah, either the government did this on purpose, or fucking it's not real, or the media is just trying to scare us, and they all die first. Yeah. They would all die first. Let's be real,
Right. And and it's the same. Now there's the anti-vaxxers chiming in and saying that the vaccine. Like I saw somebody, it got me so frustrated because the person's they posted an article that was a real legitimate article that said one of the two vaccines could potentially increase your risk of exposure to HIV, or your infection to HIV. And then this person who had been posting about how you don't need to wear a mask and this is all bullshit and nothing means anything. And now they're saying, "Oh my God, you can get HIV from the vaccine."
Right, I know,
and this isn't serious. This isn't a serious side effect. And
they don't understand. I know. There's no consistency to their thinking. It is literally whatever the big people say. Run the other direction.
Well, it's funny because I was like, so wait a minute. You don't believe the doctors when they tell you that COVID is dangerous. You don't believe the doctors when they tell you that the vaccine is generally safe and can help you. But when the doctors say there's an increased risk of infection to HIV from the vaccine, then all of a sudden you believe the doctors.
I know. It's the same thing as if of all these 50 cases of Trump's, if he won one.
Right.
If he won one, suddenly his supporters would be like, he won a case, see?
Right.
It's like, that is cherry picking. I mean, that is, it's when something unfalsifiability
confirmation bias?
Yeah, confirmation bias, but it's when there's literally nothing that'll ever change your mind.
Right.
And whenever you only count the things that tell you you're right, you ignore the mountain of shit that tells you you're wrong.
Right. Yeah.
If we just stop doing that on everything, we're gonna be in better shape for our kids and our grandkids, I think it's always been human nature to do that. We all probably do it on some level, but I've never seen it so encouraged to keep doing that. And that's why I've been scared the last decade, because we're literally telling people whatever you feel is true. Don't let some smarmy guy in a lab coat fucking tell you otherwise. And it's like, it's so funny to me because the people who thought themselves survivalists, get your fucking guns in your bunker and shit, are like, fuck, I'm not wearing a mask, and like, they're the states doing whatever they want when there's a virus, and like, being evolutionarily adaptable is not just about barking and being tough. It's about being smart. And it's about being intelligent, knowing what the fuck you're talking about.
Before COVID happened, I remember all the survivalists, all the right-wing guys marching in parades with their guns, wearing masks, because they were like, wearing the thing like you're wearing, the little gator kind of thing that pulls up.
Which isn't very good, actually. This is
the camo thing, or they're wearing like a gas mask or something like that because they're being hardcore survivalists. But now all of a sudden, because the government's telling you to not wear a mask because it might save somebody's life. No, I'm not going to.
That shows you how divided we are. It really does show you that everybody's willing to change their philosophies as long as it means not admitting that their side is wrong about anything. You know what I mean? Right. Like, I'm a survivalist, and then your team's like, we don't have to do this. And you're like, yeah, we're not doing that. You know what I mean? It's okay to be vulnerable. Yeah, we're going to be vulnerable now. It's like, what do you stand for? That gets lost in it.
It's definitely the strain of like authoritarianism that goes along with like Trump and that phenomenon that
we're going to need a new name for this, because when he's gone, it's not going to stop.
Right. Because
it can't just be called Trumpism. It's going to go beyond him. It started before him. It's going to last after him. You know.
But like if Trump had to come out and said wear a mask and be careful, they all would have worn the masks and they would have been careful. Like all he had to do was say it.
That's why people say, well, what's Biden going to do different? I go, one, tell us the virus is fucking real, which he's doing.
Tell us that global climate change is real.
Yeah. I'm okay, thank you. Though.
All right. So anyways, I was saying, I think the whole thing of the vaccine is that like I think 2021 is gonna go better. It's got to go better because how can it be much worse than what's going on now. You know, I feel like things are going to start to open back up eventually. Things, I mean, it's going to take months still, and I think
I
we're
say June, July.
You know,
That's what our company's estimating right now.
Yeah, it's
before there's some economic recovery, kind of really.
And it's
visibly happening.
You know, like what is the government going to do as far as I think the big mismanagement stuff is, and I get people who are upset that businesses aren't open and people who have a business aren't allowed to be open and do business. I get that, and I understand that plight, and I think that problem is what I've said before is that you can't simultaneously tell people that they have to stay at home to protect themselves and protect their lives and protect other people's lives from a virus. You can't do that simultaneously and then not provide them with a way to feed their families and stay alive.
That's our failure.
You know,
yeah,
and I get people's frustration because I feel it too.
Dude,
and,
I feel frustration like a motherfucker.
And you know, like financial frustration and the uncomfortable, what do you miss? I miss going to the movies. Yeah, that sucks. And that was one of the things that I really enjoyed about living in LA. And it's like a big part of my life as a filmmaker is going to the theater where there's people and watching the theater. And
he always said the theater. Let's go to the theater.
Yeah. Well,
he only watches live stuff, too. Never a movie.
To the theater, mommy.
Not watching a movie. He only watches cinema.
But that's something, the cinema, that I've always enjoyed, and it sucks that I don't get to do that now, right?
Yeah.
But that's not the same as I own a movie cinema and I can't stay open and I'm going out of business.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, the restaurants 25 years these places have been open and they're going out of business and the people can't feed their family.
I've seen restaurant owners crying, literally crying to me.
Yeah.
Not because they were blaming me, but just saying you don't understand. And I would
blame you, but
yeah.
It's all your fault, Larry.
Crying. I mean, crying, saying, my landlord saying I got to leave tomorrow, and it's just brutal.
And I think in having rental assistance for individual people and for businesses, having stimulus money, having a plan, and that's, and I hate to harp and to bring it back, but that kind of stuff is got to be top down. To a certain extent, and there had to have been leadership at the top of the country because it's not something. This isn't something
we were hung out to dry, man.
This isn't something that's like local, right? Mm-hmm. This isn't just L.A. This isn't just California. This isn't just the West Coast. I mean, it's not even just
But it is more
world.
intense in the cities, to be honest, because a lot of small towns were kind of doing more of what they wanted to. A little like Florida's doing whatever the fuck they want to do, pretty much.
But it's like, had there been a concerted effort from the top to say, okay, I'm going to appoint a task force to see, what is the best public health policy that we can do, but also what can we do economically because we know, like, it didn't take a genius to know that if we were closed down for more than a couple weeks, there was going to be economic devastation.
But you're right about all this. I think most people know, how the fuck did we not have a plan for this? Because our president thought he could not afford to admit that it was real.
Right.
He thought his brand, his chances at re-election, his popularity would not survive the hit of admitting there's a fucking deadly virus coming. It's going to hurt the economy. Mm-hmm. So he kept telling us it was fine. Because all these things you're talking about would have been in motion fucking 10 months ago.
Right.
If this guy would have gone, he's saying it's a hoax, it'll be gone in 3 days. Mm-hmm. Even he's fucking got COVID and he's telling everybody, stay strong, this will pass, let's open things back up. Like, it was all about his brand. Like, please, it's just like the dude who's driving straight toward a cliff being like, don't you dare say I'm not driving well right now. Right. Only the fucking mainstream media would tell you I'm not driving well right now. Like, dude, fuck, there's a cliff right there. Like, you would say that.
Yeah. But look, we're running at 60 miles an hour, getting good gas mileage. What's wrong?
Yeah. So, but all these things you're talking about, this whole burden of leadership, when they say heavy lies the crown or whatever, is like, you do have so it is like the Rick Grimes in Walking Dead realizes millions of times over that the answer is never all the way over here, all the way over there. Those of us who understand why things are closed, count me as one of them, hate things being closed. Yeah. Not just for selfish reasons, but because we care about our business owner friends. Right. And those of us who miss having a life. Some people are like, hey, should have just opened everything. And I'm like, you are saying fuck you to the hospitals that are out of beds. Right. To the nurses and staffs Now you're saying, fuck, you're going to overflood them with people with coronavirus, which means they might get it, which means their grandma and fucking mom and mother-in-law might get it. Like, this is a complex thing, guys. And there's no clear answer, but good leadership would have at least put in the work toward finding one.
A better answer.
An answer.
Right.
We didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, we just... 3 weeks into shutdown, he's like, we can't stay shut down like this forever. This isn't as big of a deal. And it's like, fucking... He did, guys, he doesn't care about us. Like, he cares about our us liking him.
Oh, for sure.
He wants that.
Yeah.
He cares about our support and our approval.
Yeah.
He will take that, even if we are poor and we are sick, but we love him, he'll take it.
Yeah.
He'll be fine with that.
Yeah.
But a better man would be like, no, like...
You sound like you're talking about God.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, it is pretty much. Yeah.
I'm poor and I'm destitute, but it's just God putting me through trials.
But God says nobody.
And as long as I love Him, that's all that matters.
Love Him or die. Love Him or you're a traitor.
Yeah.
Follow Him or you're a traitor.
Mm-hmm.
This is. Yeah, I mean, I don't. It's not a third world country dictatorship, but it is eerily close to like that stuff where.
Yeah.
If you don't follow me, you're a traitor and a hater, and you just believe you're a sheep.
And I've seen the. I hate to keep going down this road, but I've seen.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to beat the Trump thing to death. It just circles back to him because it all ties to him now.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen the like Daily Show things where they go in line and they interview people at the Trump rallies, and they like, oh, Trump said this. Oh no, he didn't. Well, no, look, I have the audio of him saying, oh, that's not him.
Yeah, no, it's
but
bad. How about positive stuff for 2021? Well, so the virus, with a little luck, is winding. I think vaccines are starting to be distributed right now.
Right. Yeah. And that's going to curb it, and it's going to, it's just going to be a while before that happens. I think, obviously we're not out of the woods. We're on the right track. We know which is the direction out of the woods, and I think we're in the thick of it now, and I don't think it's going to get any worse. I think it can only get better. I'm looking forward to film. Obviously, personally, I'm looking forward to film productions opening back up.
I can't wait, man.
And getting back in there. I mean, like I said, I've been fortunate to be working this last part of the year, and I've got a feature film that I'll be shooting out in Missouri. Hopefully, in a couple weeks, should be starting up. I've got a couple projects that I'm working on. I've got some people who are interested in, possibly funding something that I do, but it's all talk. It's all, until something actually happens. But, I've got some stuff I've been writing on, and trying to make 2021, I guess, maybe the year that can put something in motion. I think it's scary what's going on in the film industry. We see stuff like Warner Brothers talking about that they're going to go all digital with their releases and things like that into the future, which I don't blame them. I mean, it's because it's like, if you can't have a theatrical release because there aren't any theaters to release it into, you got to do something with your films.
Look at that. I mean,
it's like
that. It's Godzilla versus Kong. I mean. That not like, how the fuck do you show that movie not on a big screen? I mean, that's literally, you're not there for a story.
A lot of people have bigger TVs in their houses and stuff like that.
I guess it's gonna have to be it, right? Because that's all that has. Right?
I mean, everybody watched Wonder Woman, right, at home, and it was bad,
regretfully.
But
did you watch it?
Yeah, I mean, I
watched a couple scenes. I was like, I'm not watching this. There's no fucking way.
I was watching it with my brother and his family on Christmas.
He's a big Wonder Woman. Was he wearing the outfit?
Yeah. His boots. He was still working on those. He didn't have those to wear, but he had the short shorts. But it was like, it was fun for that. It was like, it's the action, and it's actually like. I thought Pedro Pascal's character was pretty good.
Max Lord's a great character.
Yeah.
Maxwell Lord from he's a great character.
Yeah, and
he's a very creative.
I didn't know, I don't know any of the lore about Wonder Woman and the Max Lord. I didn't know.
Well, he's just a cool villain, because of his story. Yeah,
and I thought, when what's her face, Kristen Wiig was all right. It was that trope of the
ugly girl gets hot. Right?
Well, no, the weirdo that's infatuated with the superheroes and then gets their own power and is the villain to the superhero.
But wait, that's been done before.
Yeah, right. I thought that was
single white female.
Right. I enjoyed the film for what it, I mean. I go into these with such low expectations.
It's just filler. Yeah, that's how
like
I do, too.
You know, to me, I'm constantly surprised when people watch a superhero movie and then they have a disappointed reaction to it, and I'm like, I mean, did you expect? Like, I didn't think the first Wonder Woman was all that.
Dude, I fucking saw Black Panther for the first time at a theater. It was an outdoor drive-in with a girl maybe a month or so ago, and I was like, I mean, this is what are we doing? Like, I didn't hate it. I just thought, like, okay, there's another one. Like, I was glad that it was diverse casting. I really am. I would not say that if I didn't believe it. Like, I'm all for that.
Right. I think there's an appeal to something like Black Panther for like the African American audience that like doesn't get to see themselves.
The dumb African American audience wants to have what the dumb white audience. Can we have some dumb bullshit that ends in a big fight already? Fuck. You know,
I mean, just that sort of like seeing themselves represented on screen and for little kids and stuff like that, and it's like, I want a superhero that looks like me.
Yeah,
you know?
that's the best part.
And I get that, you know. But
listen, okay, so on Black Panther,
I'm just done with superhero movies.
Yeah, for 2 seconds on Black Panther,
15 years ago,
I was like, okay, what's the progressive part of this? I'm like, oh, cool, finally diversity in casting. I go, what's not? And I was like, oh, maybe the fact that you can become the leader of this country, even if you're the most evil motherfucker in the world, by in the year 2020, by killing the other leader in fucking physical combat, and every member of the country, without question, switches over to following whoever's in charge. And I'm like, this is not the equality statement we believe it to be. Right. Honestly, we're not looking very closely. We're just like, oh, it's so empowering. I'm like, it's really not empowering, guys. You have no power. If you live there, you have no power whatsoever. You're just lucky if your king's a good person, and that's it. And if not, you're fucked.
He holds the dark saber.
Like, God, I want to be king. Oh, just go kill him. You can tell him you want to fight him right now. You just grab your spear. Like, and then, like, you know, Hitler could win, and they'd all be like, well, guys, the law says we got to follow this guy. And like, it's so empowering. I'm like, I don't think it was. I think it's a country of slaves. Just sometimes they're happy and sometimes they're not. You know. Film wise, the animation stuff, we were looking to hire people for samples, but I think what we're doing is I reached out to some animation houses because they're still kind of working right now. And I was just like, hey, if I want to just do a 10-second animation sample, I've got the recording, I'll direct the scene, let me know some quotes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, because, and then I can see how long it would take to do a feature based on that.
I hope you didn't, but don't contact that guy that I messaged you about on Facebook. I sent you like a couple months ago. I sent you.
Well, what did he do?
It was on Facebook Messenger. I had sent you the link to a guy who was like, "Oh, here's my reel of 2D animation that I've done."
I don't think that I did. I guess that I haven't,
because it turns out that guy is just taking works that other people did, and it's like, "Hey, this is my reel, and look at this work that I've done." Okay. Like I saw.
You don't remember his name, do you?
I mean, I could pull it up on the Messenger.
Don't say it right now. Yeah. I'll double check.
I almost want to do it because this guy's a total fucking scammer who's been like taking other people's work and like, this is my reel as an animator.
Yeah, no, I haven't had conversations with anybody like that. I won't say how I feel about it. We have a lot of animators whose stuff I've looked at, so I think I would remember. But anyway, we're doing that, and then no matter what, I'm determined I'm going to shoot The Longstreth Death of a 30-something in October.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then I had a thought.
Anna Bose. ANAYBOSE.
That's on our list.
Yeah. Don't.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah. So, I don't feel bad calling this guy because he's been called out on Facebook too. These I don't know where he's from. I think the post maybe was taken down.
Well, I'll show the team. There's
yeah.
But he's not. We weren't digging deep into that one.
Right. Yeah. So apparently, I was taking other people's work and passing on.
But animation houses, like I've always been. We're not tight, but we're buddy acquaintances. Me and Mike Parker, who does Lowbrow Studios. They do a bunch. They're all over the place now. Yeah. I remember watching him from just like we were just doing stupid little internet content together, and this guy's like doing big stuff on TV all the time, commercials. It's awesome, man. So anyway, I'm gonna shoot 30 something in October. I'm just determined. I'll throw in some money. I know I can raise some money. I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna ask you to fly out there for sure. You can count on it.
Man. Anything you need,
And then I thought of something. I was driving, dude. So lately, you got all this time, right?
Uh-huh.
I've been writing the script. I still have a year to finish it, basically, and I want it to be good. I want it to be great. And I was like, I was so determined to film the whole thing in the Midwest. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wait, I had an idea, and I realized I could film like 25% of it in L.A. and Malibu.
Sure.
Because the part of the story is about a contrast between worlds.
Oh, okay.
It's not literally supposed to be Larry's life, but I was like, why not? I have these things at my fingertips: restaurants, kitchens.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, totally. And then like small town life versus like this, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna film it 25% in LA, 75% in Ohio. Like, I think I'm just gonna do it. I don't care. I'm doing it. I'll get the money.
You could probably get, if you want to get to the restaurant stuff, shoot that sooner than later, because you could get access to restaurants that are closed.
100%.
Now,
yeah. But also though, they'll let me film in there. They'll let me film there overnight, and, and I'll throw money, but like sure. Some of the major, like even Malibu restaurants will totally let me film there for a great hookup deal, So yeah, no matter what, I'm shooting that. We have the Camp Miracle sizzle we're just sitting on. I don't know how to pitch it until, because the COVID regulations really do jack the budget up to a point where it's like not worth it to us, but.
Yeah,
I feel pretty hopeful though. What about how about just adventure and fun wise? I mean, are we going to be able to sit in a movie theater anytime soon again, or
I
what?
sure fucking hope so, man. I mean,
not like that's the only thing here, but just
dining
in,
but
having a
like
life.
I said, like to me, going to the cinema is something that I've enjoyed, and it's just part of like
it's a major part of our lives here.
Yeah. Like what I really enjoy doing, and I used to go to a movie a couple times a week,
same.
And it was like
bars. We go to bars.
Yeah. And then, that stuff is fun, going out to bars and restaurants and coffee shops and stuff like that. But to me, it's obviously, going to the movies it's experience. It's why I'm making movies, and I love to watch them. I love to go to that, go and experience it and everything. And
Scotty lives right down the street from. Well, a few blocks from Cinerama Dome, which you see in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's a famous theater. The ArcLight there. I live literally.
The Chinese theater is the one I've been going to because it's the closest.
He goes there. Yeah, he lives right there on Hollywood Boulevard. I live right by the Sunset Boulevard, where that's at ArcLight Cinerama Dome.
Yep.
And man, I drive by it almost every day, and it just makes me sad.
Yeah.
I'm just like, God, there's where I want to be in there.
Yeah.
And it's been 10 months. We haven't been in a movie. I haven't been in a movie theater for almost a year.
Yeah,
I never thought that would even be a thing.
I've gone to a couple drive-ins, and they're all right. They're all right for like once or twice for nostalgia kind of stuff, but it's not the same experience going to. I mean, in the sense of like the screen's a little bit smaller and further away. It's not as bright, and there's some more distractions, and you're sitting in your car, which is kind of funky, but. It's not the same as just walking into a movie theater.
No way, dude. Oh, I was working up in Ventura for a day. I was training a guy. I was with Jimmy, and Ventura was far more open. Now they're finally shut down too. This is why the virus was exploding. Is L.A. was playing by the rules, but everybody outside of L.A. you could go there to escape and party and drink. But anyway, we walked into a movie theater. I was just trying to get the corporate office's information from these guys, so we were in there for 3 minutes. But we walk in, and immediately you walk in, and it's darker as opposed to outside. These things that we all know about theaters, and people in the cities right now will be like, "Oh, I remember that stuff," but people in towns are like, "Oh, I was there 2 months ago." You walk in, and then there's the popcorn smell,
right?
And then there's like the lights of like the little vendor, food stand, and like we both kind of stopped as soon as we walked in because it hit you like it's been 9 months.
Right.
And it hits you, and it's so vivid, and it's so like, oh yeah, it's an experience that you took for granted. It was part of your life. It was taken away, and then you walk in, and you're like, we looked at each other, and I was like, whoa, dude, and he's like, yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's like we missed it. You forgot about that sensation, and it's not like it's not the same thing as sex or skydiving, but it is something that when we all finally get to go back, we're gonna be like, oh my god, I missed this so fucking bad. As soon as the lights dim in the auditorium, and the dun da da da, or something starts going, you're like, oh, everyone's gonna cry. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I miss this city being itself, man.
Yeah,
it's gone.
Yeah, I mean, I cruise down Hollywood Boulevard there, and there's still tourists. But I mean,
what are they doing?
Yeah, there's still the stars, and there's still Chewbacca there, and
totally homeless Chewbacca,
homeless Chewbacca, and homeless Mickey,
and
a couple other street performers are still out there doing their thing, and
it's probably cheaper to come here right now, though, huh?
Probably,
if you want to do a trip.
Yes, it's I don't see how it could be more expensive, But
hey, I had an idea for. I texted it to you. I think I'm going to do a New Year's party 2022.
Oh, okay.
2022.
Yeah.
Did I text this to you?
Yeah. Something about
a hotel in Malibu. It's private. It's got a restaurant. Guys, I'm talking about doing I like to do New Year's parties at my accounts, and I'm gonna when the world's finally back, I'm gonna party I'm gonna have the biggest ones.
Like it's 1999.
Yeah, dude, that's fucking 21 years ago. I remember being at a New Year's party in 1999, being like, "Well, this is it, guys."
Yeah.
Now you look at that and it was not anything remarkable.
But it was, though. I mean, it was a different. I mean, it's interesting because I think
we're finally in the 20s now.
Right, the 2020s.
Yeah, but you can say back in the 20s because I'm so tired of saying back in the 10s. Nobody knew what to fucking say.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
I remember in the 90s, my cousin goes, "What are we gonna say when something happened in 2003 back in 03?"
Yeah.
And everyone laughed because it sounded so stupid, and we're like, I don't know.
Back in the 20s.
People say 2000s, don't they? Still,
when they 2000s,
yeah.
I was just. I mean, I guess it's kind of a deep conversation to get into this late in the show, but I was thinking about you were talking about that the sort of carefreeness, and I think there was a certain
carefreeness with what?
Like 1999, you're talking about the party,
Yeah.
Right? But I think for a lot of people, there's a certain loss of innocence that happened with September 11th, and how that kind of changed the world and changed.
That's when we felt vulnerable,
right? And there was a big I think there was a big systematic change in everyday life to a certain extent in people's view of the world and things like that, and then the kind of ramifications that had on popular culture and people's outlook on life and things like that, and just what this is going to mean for us, what
the internet's happening at the exact same time. September 11th gets us all scared and weird, and at the same time young people are starting to question old beliefs and racism and tribalism, and it's a soup of fucking, a very polarized time, a bizarre time we've been in. Huh?
And then now we have this as a defining. This isn't so much a defining moment like 9/11 was a day, and that had specific. I mean, this is over a long stretch of time. But I think as we get away from that, what's that ramifications and stuff like that. I mean, I talk to people who are filmmakers, and there's rumblings about quarantine and COVID related films, and it's just man, I don't think anybody wants to see that. I can't imagine movie theaters opening up in August and there's a big quarantine movie or a big COVID movie, and everybody rushing out.
I'll tell you what.
To watch a movie about that kind of stuff. Right?
I'm gonna do. We did a film, a cheap film, The Longstreth 20-something 10 years ago. We're doing 30-something this year. And I decided, I don't want to hear the word Trump in it.
Yeah.
And I don't think, hear COVID mentioned. But at the same time, whatever elements of humanity, good or bad, have been at the forefront of things lately, and I think you have to have those in there.
Right.
If it's certain old people being fucking scary or young people being clueless or whatever, I think there has to be a reflection.
Right.
Does that make sense? There has to be a little bit of a reflection of things, but maybe a character lost their grandpa to COVID.
Right.
But you don't dive in. You know what I mean?
It's or have the you don't have to mention Trump to go into right-wing conspiracies, and that sort of impact on people. And then you have a character that goes to QAnon or whatever.
I like the idea, not to draw a false equivalent, but I like the idea of, I'm going to do part of it in LA, of that character being around a woman who screams at him, "Shut up," while they're just drinking at a party, playing a board game because men have spoken long enough.
Yeah,
and that's going in there.
Right.
It's not going to talk about Trump or Bernie or
right.
But it is those are parts of the world right now. And I think, I think a reflection is accurate. Yeah, like you said, I agree with you.
Yeah. You don't have to mention the specifics, but I think to ignore that's part of the world.
It's the world we're in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big part of it, you know.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have more Vulgar Fantastico coming.
Yes, sir. Our little web series. Yeah, we did 3. We're gonna do 3 more here pretty soon. 2021. We'll get kicking on that. It's fun. I do it on my own pace.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go. I'll let you know.
Definitely doing it on your own pace.
Yeah, for sure. But I'll
the long-awaited fourth episode. That's like 90% done. We just like one scene left.
No, the 5th episode. I'll explain that more later.
Oh, okay.
Episode 5 is coming next, guys.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, yeah, but it'll be. It's at its own pace, but it's supposed to be at its own pace. It'll make sense.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll get you ready.
Larry,
I just need you to show you. I just need to find a place where we can go film in some snowy mountains here.
Right. Well, we did have some snow. You saw it up there.
I saw.
It's going to start melting. Like
I got to get some more puppets too from my puppet maker.
Oh, I mean, obviously, I think we'll have more snow up there. But how it kind of works out here is like you'll get snow. And then in a couple weeks,
sure,
like it's melted and it's gone.
We go to like Big Bear or somewhere where there's snow for good right now for the next few months. Yeah. But are we closing up for the most part? We're winding down.
We're at the hour and something mark.
Yeah, I say it's time to wrap it up. I would say not to. We might have sounded negative here and stuff. But I think the right wing stuff deserves it at this point in time.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of negative shit happened last year. I mean, we didn't even scratch the surface. But
to respond to it positively is probably a good idea. And I'm hard on people who I feel like are being lazy about their beliefs and just cherry picking the world and the easy grab and go philosophies that'll keep you comfortable in your circles wherever you're at. Mm-hmm. We pay a long term.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think, and I think a lot of people have experienced this, whether it's COVID specifically or the broader, Trump right wing stuff, like being disappointed or frustrated with people that are close to you that seem to have drink the Kool-Aid or whatever, like having conversations with people and. That are in my family, and
everybody's going through this right now. By the way,
and they're saying, "Oh, we don't need the quarantine. The quarantine isn't working. See, nobody's getting sick."
Oh, dude, I was in Vegas,
and you're like you can there's 100 different arguments that you can make, but you can't make the argument that the quarantine isn't necessary because nobody's getting sick.
I know, but they don't understand.
Nobody's getting sick because
about
we're
that.
Quarantining.
It's dude, I don't. We can't be this dumb.
Right.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
We can, are we this dumb?
Yeah.
Can you medicate a country and then have them go, why the fuck did we do that? Nobody got sick. Like, can you?
Yeah.
Are we really this fucking stupid? I think.
Yeah.
We might be, man.
But I've noticed that it's like I have this one particular family member who I've had the conversation with and will acknowledge every single premise of the argument that I make, but still will refuse to accept the conclusion.
People don't want to
because
move right now.
You can get them on every point, but they like you can make the argument that
they're emotionally married to an idea. Then
you can make the argument that yes, the coronavirus is dangerous, and yes, opening things up will lead to more people being sick, but the cost benefit analysis in my mind is open everything up and people get sick and people die, and that's okay because that's better than everything being closed and people losing their businesses, losing work because they can't be open.
Right.
Like that's a difficult pill to swallow, but that is at least a cogent argument that I can accept as someone holding that belief and saying this is what I believe. That
I don't want to hear it, but it's real. It's
right.
Or I don't like it.
Right.
But I understand it. Yeah.
Right. And that's
it's harsh though.
Yeah, that's and I understand that. But I think that there's maybe people that feel that way that don't want to say that out loud.
I know. That's exactly what it is.
So they have to say, well, I don't think the COVID is real or whatever.
100%.
Because, I had this family member say they were upset because the schools had temporarily opened. Mm-hmm. And then after like 2 days, one kid tested positive and they closed the school down. And they were upset because the school had closed down. And I said, well, one, like, you have to understand, like, from a legal liability standpoint. Like,
Right.
Like, if the school had stayed open and one other kid had gotten it and died, like, what do you think the legal liability would have been for that school?
I know.
But then also, and then they say, yeah, but, you know, what, I don't really care, blah, blah, blah. But what if it was your
That's
kid?
what. So, but
But they can't.
That's what it is. You're right.
But it's my kid's not going to get it.
I know. That's
my
what it
kid's
is.
never going to get it.
But nobody wants to lead. Nobody wants to go straight up. Hey, I don't care about everybody else. I care about me. Nobody
Right.
leads their fucking argument with that.
Right.
They throw a million things out there. Well, what about this? Well, what about that?
Right,
and
right,
as you
right.
take your sword and you cut those bad reasons down,
Right.
you finally have one thing left standing, and that's the truth. They're
Right.
standing there alone. You're right. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
And I hate the fact that they are so good at presenting themselves as people who have valid arguments.
Right.
Because we lose so much time going, I don't get it. This person's intelligent. Why
Right,
won't
right.
they just admit their reasons are bad?
Right.
Ding, 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 ding. They don't give a fuck. But then
right.
we have to be careful not to lump everybody who disagrees with us in as somebody who secretly doesn't give a fuck.
Right,
So it's
right.
very complex.
Yeah, because
you know?
there are there
are good people
are
making those
plen-
arguments.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
sure.
and there's plenty of people who believe
Right.
that COVID's not real and
But-
the
but
quarantines
if-
don't work and masks don't work and all this kind
But
of
if
stuff.
you go
and
for 10 or 15 years saying whatever happened to good old-fashioned values,
Right,
and then
right.
5 years later,
yeah,
you're like, well, yeah, he made fun of the handicapped guy, and yeah, he grabbed girls by the pussy, and yeah, he made fun of POWs, yeah, he lies a lot, yeah, we caught him, like, well, you just, all that shit you were hiding behind 5 years
Yeah.
ago has been exposed, and then you
Right.
say, well, yeah, but I don't like that guy over there because he fucking hung out with Epstein.
yeah,
And then photos come out of your guy hanging out with Epstein, and you go,
Yeah.
well, I mean, he was friends with him. It doesn't mean like
Yeah,
we
yeah.
just these people just keep
But-
retreating.
yeah, and then when it all comes down to it, it's like, yeah, but the other guy's going to raise my taxes.
That's what it is. It is self, dude. It's
And then it's like,
100
well,
or
why
my
didn't-
family
why
are
didn't-
cops,
why didn't you
and we
just-
just need to protect cops.
Yeah.
Or
Why
whatever
didn't you
it
just say
is.
that from the
Selfish.
beginning that like, oh,
It is-
I didn't want my
That's what it
taxes
comes.
to be
It'll
raised,
come down
you
to
know?
them and their tribe every
Right,
time.
right. Mhm.
Well, yeah, but this guy favors firefighters, and I'm a firefighter.
Yeah.
That's what it was the whole fucking time, dude.
Right,
you know,
right.
like, yeah, good luck getting those people to come clean on that shit too.
But
What's a good thing a lefty could hide behind? Pretending to be noble. What are left wing ideologies they could claim, but secretly just be? Well, obviously you could claim to be persecuted.
right,
And not be.
I think there's.
And you could
I
hide
think-
that way.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of virtual signaling about.
For sure.
About racism and sexism and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. You know, pretending to be outraged about
When you're
this,
not.
that, and the other. When
You just want to look like a hero or get the girl or whatever.
Yeah,
maybe,
yeah. People who are social justice warriors on Twitter and things like that. Of like, I think it was like
Twitter just brings out the most vile of people.
Yeah, it's great. I don't even go
The
on
YouTube
there,
comment sections too, like left and right. You're just like, these are vicious fucking sharks.
Yeah,
I don't even think that they're really like that in person. I think it's like a fake world that they're. It probably would bring up my meanest side too, because I'm not. I don't think I'm hurting somebody. They don't see me. I don't see them. They're more of an idea than a person. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Yeah, it's probably. I don't think it means we're monsters. I just think it means it's a bad communication for them for sure.
Yeah. There was some. I wish I had it at my fingertips. There was somebody who definitely.
Just do the Rogan. Hey Jamie, pull up that video of the gorilla
Yeah, right.
tearing the guy. Watch this. He tears the guy's arms right off.
I wish we
ever
had,
see that?
We had that kind of production. This I don't know if I forwarded this one to you, but the guy who posted about how Trump is going to somehow win the presidency again, posts a picture of Trump playing chess. I don't know if you saw that one.
Yeah, no, I haven't, but I see it right now. Yeah.
But it's actually, if you look at the picture, it's Trump knocking his own king over, like the signal that you've given up and that you're resigning is you're knocking your own king over.
You just grabbed a photo. He Google image real quick.
Yeah, and so it's a picture of Trump knocking his own king over, saying that he surrenders.
Yeah,
But he posted it as like, oh, here's Trump playing chess and winning at playing chess. You know?
That's actually hilarious. I guess we're running long on time here, huh? We'll just make this a private video that just us two listen to.
Yeah.
But what I was saying is we have been negative, but I do believe we should close positive. People should be positive, and like, please stop grabbing lazy opinions off of memes and your feelings and gossip in the water cooler. And please start challenging your own beliefs.
If you're going to post a picture of Trump playing chess, make sure it's not the one of him surrendering.
God, but you do see, I mean, you see a meme get fucking 50,000 shares immediately, even if it's completely a lie.
Right.
It doesn't matter. It just takes off. It flies.
Yeah.
And I keep thinking too, like I hope millennials learn to be for our kids and grandkids the people that we looked up to or needed. I have my doubts. I don't have a ton of faith in it, but I hope we don't lose sight of things like that. Just being good people, man.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Yeah. We shouldn't have to look to Luke Skywalkers to be our fucking source of inspiration.
Right.
Atticus Finch shouldn't have to be a fictional character.
Yeah. I mean, I think like I said, I think things are looking up. I think there's positive things to take away from the whole experience. Things have changed. Access to internet, like communities and things like that, like how people have come together virtually over things.
Coffee fucked me up, dude, but I'm listening. Yeah.
I think those things are going to have lasting ramifications and everything like that.
I just got a text. Sorry to ruin your Sunday, but here's a video of Trump.
Oh shit.
It's just the call. They got him on the audio saying he wants to find 11,000 votes.
Oh yeah.
Whatever.
He'll find him any day now. They're in the back of the van, so somewhere.
Yeah, we're on the up and up. It's just I think it's going to be a slower ascent than we're all hoping for.
Yeah.
I do see January 20th, as I've joked about it, but I see it as kind of the true New Year's this year. Mm-hmm. The true fresh start, the true resolution.
Yeah.
I don't know. You want to call it, amigo?
Yeah. I mean,
My head's exploding from this fucking coffee right now.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us for episode 1 of 2021. More to come. Hopefully, we'll do this a little more often.
There's no obligation to put episode 1 on our listing title though, because that's so confusing on the.
Well,
YouTube
no,
shit.
I mean this is not episode 1. This is the first episode.
Episode whatever the fuck it is, I don't even know.
Season 22. Even though we haven't done 22 episodes.
Every episode's a season.
Right. There'll be more stuff's coming out.
And be safe. Be smart. Be considerate.
Yeah.
I know you might have your conspiracies and your ideas and your philosophies on what things are, but please appeal to expert opinions.
Yeah.
Take care of each other. Ain't no shame in being wrong. There's just shame in refusing to admit it.
Right, yeah. So anytime you're ready to admit you're wrong, Larry will be here to listen.
Mm-hmm. No, I didn't say that. Scott will field it.
Yes.
Call it any time. Scott's happy to listen.
Yeah. Well, take care, y'all, and be safe, be good. And see you next time on the Old Fashioned Hollywood Podcast.
Sweet music.